Mosaic, a daily news program from Link TV, presents a selection of news reports from independent and state-controlled broadcasters from throughout the Middle East.
The two French journalists arrived to France today, ending their 4-month abduction ordeal in Iraq. Nevertheless, questions remain unanswered as to the way the government resolved the crisis. Their release has brought relief to the French public and political circles. French Prime Minister Jean-Pierre Raffarin refuted accusations that France paid a ransom for the release of the two journalists. In front of Paris's City Hall, the French public expressed their happiness that the two hostages were released. In a simple event at this symbolic location, they removed the posters of the two journalists from the walls. They were posted on the wall for 4 months, so they wouldn't be forgotten by the French people.
We decided to celebrate the release of the two journalists. From this symbolic location where thousands of people would gather daily to sign a petition demanding the release of our colleagues.
President Chirac was the first one to express his happiness. He cut his visit to Morocco short, immediately returning to France to commend the efforts exerted to save the lives of the journalists.
I want to thank all the political officials and the religious scholars around the world and in France who showed us solidarity and support.
President Chirac noted the efforts of the Muslim and Arab communities in France, who showed solidarity with France through organizing rallies demanding the immediate release of the two journalists. They also sent a delegation to Iraq to demand the release of the hostages. The Muslim community in France is relieved to learn of this happy ending.
مهما حقيقة حصل من ضيق للآخرين فكنا نحن في ضيق أشد.
Whatever others suffered, we were suffering more. We're experiencing a crisis, a living nightmare. This is a relief, thank God. Muslims in France, Europe, and around the world should be happy. If God is willing, this is an opportunity to reinforce brotherhood and friendship ties with France. We thank everyone who stood by France, especially from the Muslim and the Arab world.
The abductors asserted that they released the two French journalists after they were certain that they were not spying for the U.S. troops. Also, their release is due in part to the calls made by Islamic organizations and in recognition of France's position on the Iraqi crisis. However, some opposition politicians are saying that a secret deal may have been made between the French government and the kidnappers.
I believe that the French people have the right to know all the details of the release of the two journalists. They also need to know why there was chaos before their release.
The Prime Minister quickly responded to these suspicions. He presided over a meeting with the leaders of other political parties, reiterating that France did not pay a ransom to free the two hostages, adding that the abductors did not ask for money and that negotiations were ongoing through the help of mediators. During the hostage crisis, an unprecedented national